Hello and welcome to A Cup of Conversation on BRT2 TV. My name is Deniz, and in the studio today I have two great people who are working very hard for the youngsters in Karşıyaka. In fact, I have Amanda Fiora and Deniz Aziz, and they are part of the JESIC Friends of Karşıyaka School Children project, and we are talking about what they're going to be doing, how you can help this project, and what it's all about. It's new to me, new to everyone here in the studios of BRZK. So first of all, Amanda and Deniz, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having us here.
Now, ladies first, and Amanda, this is not the first time you've been on my programme.
No, it's not.
Although it's been a few years since you were here.
It's still nerve-wracking, but yes, it has been a few years, yes.
And you're no stranger to BRT. I know you've been on Deniz's main event programme a couple of times over the past couple of years since we have met. And here you are today, and thank you for drawing our attention to this project, which is all about JESIC Friends of Karşıyaka School Children project. Before we talk about that, let's find out more about you. You have that Australian accent, although you are a Kiwi, as you say.
I am a Kiwi, but I lived for a long time in Australia. I spent my teenage years in Australia, so I suppose I feel more Australian, but it's nice.
Originally
to be
from New
either.
Zealand?
Yes. And I left Australia back over 30 years ago now, and I've lived through different countries. I lived a long time in Italy, I lived for a short while in France, long time in England, and I've been here in Cyprus for 12 years now.
And your surname, Fiora, is actually Italian, isn't it?
It is Italian, yes. I spent a long time there. I was married there in Italy, so yes.
And you kept that name with you?
I did, yes. It's much easier than having to go through all the changing passports, changing tax numbers, changing everything. Just stay with the first surname.
You have been involved with many projects here in the TRNC, and I know you are very conscious of helping, supporting the community, but what brought you to Cyprus 12 years ago? I mean, is it, you know, having travelled the world, having been around the world, in all the countries you mentioned, how did you end up here in Cyprus?
Cyprus was really chosen a lot for the location and climate. When we moved to Cyprus, I'd sold my business in 2007, and we moved to Cyprus because the good weather, and it was a halfway point, an easy point really, to travel back to the UK for my partner's grandkids and to travel to Australia where my parents were still living. And so it was kind of like an easy intersection, and the weather's kept us here, Even though my parents have passed on, it's still nice to stay here. The weather is much better than the UK.
And as you say, pretty central to everywhere really, going to Europe.
It is, it's quite easy to get anywhere. If you fly to Istanbul, you can fly anywhere in the world really, it's so easy.
Very good. And you are now happy living in the Karşıyaka area?
I am, yes. It's quite rustic where I live. It's quite peaceful. We've got dogs, so we go walking with the dogs a lot. It's a very, very nice part of the world.
Very good, very good. Okay, now coming to Deniz. We've only met today, Deniz. Thank you very much for coming to BRT today.
Thank you for having us here.
Now, Deniz, I've heard of JESICs, never met anybody from JESICs, and now I'm very happy to have you here in the studio with us. You are part of JESIC's bar, aren't you, in Karşıyaka?
Yeah, me and my dad, we've had the bar for about 17 years now, we've been open.
And your dad is, his name is?
Mustafa.
Mustafa?
Yeah.
And your mum?
My mum's English, she's Karen.
And you were, are you London Cypriot like me, or were you born in England?
I was born and raised in North London, Edgware.
Yeah.
And I moved over here about 17 years ago now, 16, 17 years ago.
So after education in the UK, you came to Cyprus?
Yeah, I chose to come here.
And has it been a good decision?
I've not looked back really, I love my life here, it's the people, the country.
The reason why I ask is because normally people come back to Cyprus later on in life.
Yeah.
Like maybe your dad's and mum's age. My mum and dad, when I graduated from university, they decided, right, it's time now to go back to Cyprus. They'd been in England for 30 years. But you're quite young. You were quite young when you arrived here, so you didn't mind coming to Cyprus and finding out, you know, what this was all about, this lovely island?
No, because I chose to come here. It was a bit different and I wanted to be here. After a few years, I suppose, it was a bit claustrophobic. And I did leave for a year in the middle. But then again, I've come back here, met my wife, and I've stayed here since. Got my little boy.
So a nice family here as well, keeping you busy.
Yeah.
And so were you always involved, because I heard when you were talking with Deniz on the radio that J6 has been around since 2003.
Yeah.
So that's nearly 16 years now, a long time. Have you always been involved with that location? Have your family always been involved with catering or restaurant and bar business?
No, I mean, my dad's always had a connection with Cyprus. He's always worked out here. He had a factory in Lefkosia years before. But after giving up the factory, he decided he wanted to do something, and the bar came up on Lapta Strip, where we first opened. And we opened there for 7 years. And we've been up in Karşıyaka now for 9 years.
Right, so your new location is quite well established now, but from factory work to bar work or to, you know, entertainment work, I mean, what was your dad doing in the factory? What was the factory?
He had a clothing factory in Nicosia, which he had for quite a few years, making branded clothes for UK.
Fantastic. So from factory man to businessman for himself, working for himself, obviously.
Yeah, he always has done. He wanted somewhere he could relax, somewhere he could enjoy. And I say the bar came up and he thought it would be a good opportunity.
And I believe, Amanda, that the connection between you guys is that, you know, you frequent J6.
It is our local, yes. We live in Karşıyaka and J6 is the nearest place. And J6 is a very, very friendly bar. There's a bit of everything there. You know, there's darts teams, there's pool, there's billiards, there's snooker. There's lots of things going on, bingo nights, quiz nights.
Yeah.
And it's a very friendly environment. There are a lot of expats there, so it is our local, yes.
It's your local. And so this is how you became involved with the project.
Yes.
But as I said, the first time I heard about J6 Friends of Karşıyaka School Children Project was from you. I never heard about this. I never heard of any fundraising activities at all. I didn't know what was going on. So, Deniz, let's find out more. As it's named after your bar, this project. So how did this project come about?
We've done various fundraisers for other events, and we've done a lot for cancer charities, for the Karinya Hospital, the dialysis unit. We helped raise money for a van for them, a transport vehicle. We've also raised money for Lefke, special needs school, and we just decided, mainly my dad as well, decided to put something more back into the local community as opposed to giving elsewhere, and we chose the children of Karşıyaka as our first step.
So were you always at J6 doing something for charity? I mean, how did that come about? You know, there you are with your customers, just chatting with people and supporting local people. How did the charity work begin even in the first place?
A lot of our customers like to support things, and they've raised money for various things in other places, and they chose, since the early 2000s, we've helped raise money for, first of all, the first one we done was the Cancer Charity Trust, and then it went on from there and various other ones.
So always charity work, and then Karşıyaka, which obviously is your lovely hometown, home village. And I've been to Karşıyaka Primary School, I've seen it a couple of times. Very nice, quaint, old-fashioned primary school in the TRNC, up in the mountains, very nice. So how did the idea of helping the kids of Karşıyaka come about, Deniz? I mean, why that particular area, that avenue?
There seems to be a lot of other help in certain areas in Karşıyaka, but the kids seem to, well, the local schools especially, seem to be quite underfunded in what they can do in getting the kids educational activities and things like that. So we decided to help them first.
And you've done a great job. So Amanda, how did you get involved? When did you hear about this? Because I know that the project's been going since October 2017, so only just over a year, really.
It is, yes. I became involved through my other half, my partner Malcolm, who's tends to be down at J6 more than me, so you know. and he's very good friends with Mush, and he knew that Mush was very, very, very much interested in helping kids in Karşıyaka, and especially with the educational opportunities, with the chance to learn different things and to kind of level up the playing field between different schools throughout North Cyprus and put some effort back into the community. So along with Deniz, Mush and a few other expats, they've decided to form the society to actually work on projects. The first project was basically to do with refurbishment. There was a large room at the school which had been a bit neglected, which needed a lot of work done to it, plasterwork, painting, refurbing the stage area, putting in a roller door so the classroom can be divided. And so that was the initial project, and that mushroomed into getting a screen and a projector for the room, and computers for the room, 5 laptops, and the carts for all of those things, turning it into a proper media room.
Nice.
And also a lot of books were donated, a lot of English language books for school children, which for the right ages for them. So it's encouraging the English language development, as well as introducing the children to computers, to technology, to all of those sorts of things. And it just seemed to be such a good idea to put money back into, and put effort back into that level of with the kids, so that they do get the chances. They can find things which they want to do, which stimulate them, which excite them about education, and see how they can get on from there. You know, give them opportunities to see different things. That it's a great school there, it really is. And the head teacher, she's very enthusiastic. She's a lovely lady. The English language teacher there is very enthusiastic too. And it's nice to be able to put something to help them along, to enable them to give more chances to the children.
It is fantastic an idea. And so at the beginning, did you go along to the school and speak with the head teacher and say, what do you need? And did they tell you, or do you decide, well, actually, we would like to provide this? I mean, how did it come about that you did all that great work with the media room and everything? And
well, the project is very much for school children. Whilst we're involved with the school at the moment, and the projects we're doing at the moment are very much for the school, it is for the children of Karşıyaka, so the scope is very much open to projects there. But I believe it started really with Mush wanting to get involved, Mush and Deniz wanting to get involved with the school, and they were the ones who initially made the approach to the school and spoke with the school.
Yeah, and so the first phase was really more about equipping the school with what they needed.
Turning it into a lovely media room. It's a very nice room now. It's with all the equipment, with the projector, with the screen, with the computers, with the facilities to study English or to study other subjects. And so that was the first step, to kind of encourage education in that way.
And then I think, didn't you say to me in a press release that you also did a covered area as the kids walked from their classrooms to, was it where the cafeteria, the canteen, was it?
It's for the little kindergarten children between their classroom and the toilets.
Oh, the toilets,
unfortunately, that was uncovered, so, you know, if it was bad weather or even very hot weather, it was a bit unfortunate for the little kiddies to have to make that trek, so that was recovered as well.
So a lot of work has been done actually for the school.
It is a lot of work. Since October 2017, it's over 50,000 TL's been raised. The first project was over 25,000 TL to get all the refurbishment and the equipment done. But the fundraising is ongoing, and it's nice to have so much enthusiasm for the local community to put some effort in for the school children.
It's amazing how much you've achieved in such a short time, in just over a year, Deniz. I mean, did you envisage so much support from the public and that you would go so far as you already have done? You know, I mean, a lot of money has been raised, a lot of work has been done, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, without the support and help from all of our customers, we would never have got this far anyway.
Yeah.
And they do support anything that they feel they want to help along with anyways. And I mean, the amount of money that's been raised is obviously exceptional amount, which is brilliant, and it's all the money goes towards what we're aiming for. There's no money taken out for admin fees, there's no money taken out for extra costs. Every penny raised goes to the project we're on. Yeah.
And I know that you do a lot of fundraising, lots of things going on at J6 during the week, and that's how you raise money. So tell us a bit about the fundraising, what you actually do, because you have some fun, different things going on, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, we do things in the week for the bar, but the general fundraising is held on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
We do a bingo session from 3:30, and one of the games is called Irish Bingo, in which everyone stands up with their bingo ticket, and it's the last person standing wins the pot, which you don't want your number to be called.
Yeah, normally with bingo, you want your number to be called and you do the full house and everything, but this time you don't want your number to be called out, and the last person standing gets the money. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and a section of that money raised is what goes towards the Karşıyaka project, and each week it adds up and helps us along our way.
Now, it sounds very simple, but how many people do you get there to raise enough money? I mean, you must have, this is just a drop in the ocean for the amount of money that you've been speaking about over the year. How many people do you have normally on a Friday afternoon?
At the minute in the winter, it's quieting down a bit. We're getting about 70, 80 people.
That's quiet.
On a Friday afternoon. In the summer, it can go up to 130, 140 people.
Wow.
It's busy.
Very busy, very busy. So a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And what else do you have there? I mean, do you have, aside from the regular nights that you might have and quizzes and the bingo, whatever, that will bring in a bit of money, do you have any big fundraising events? Has there been anything big that has been specifically for this project? Or
Already we've had one of the big pub days there. As fundraisers in the past, Jessex have, for other causes, Jessex have also held these, but they're very big pub days which have got a big auction, which have got some great prizes that go remarkably cheaply. Great prizes at the auction. There's live music, there's a big barbecue which is really, really good. There's raffles, so it's a full day really of entertainment, and they tend to be the major fundraisers because a lot of people have a great time at those.
but what type of things, Amanda, in the auction that you're saying very, very cheap? I mean, what type of things are you given?
Oh, there's so much donated because, to be honest, I mean, we all buy things thinking we're going to use them and then we don't.
And you don't. So it's brand new nearly.
Yeah, like there was a couple of years ago, there was a brand new gas barbecue, one of the big, huge gas barbecues. What else have we had?
We've had water slides given to us.
Lots of furniture items.
We've had computers given, some of them being only a year old, like Apple Macs last year was given to us.
So it's a wide range of things, and we're always got our arms open to welcome more things because we've got our next event coming up before long, just a couple of months.
Yeah.
And if anybody does want to donate any items which they don't need, if they do have a laptop which they don't use, if they have a camera they don't use, anything like that they don't need anymore.
Yeah,
they think,
even down to the smallest of items.
Anything
is given.
Anything, and it's as Deniz was saying, 100% of that raised does go to these projects. There's nothing taken out anywhere.
There are no
along the way.
expenses to be covered.
No
when you think about
expenses
it.
at all. So
and so that event coming up in a couple of months' time, you said, is that going to be another
it's
auction
another big pub day with the auction, with the raffle, with the music, with barbecue, everything happening. So it's going to be either late March or early April.
So do you sort of like base your events during the day, afternoon to evening?
It's a long day event. Normally starts around 2 in the afternoon, going through till whenever the last person sort of...
Whenever you get out the last person. Last orders, please.
That's it.
So it sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds like a great way to get together.
And it's painless then, isn't it? You know, putting money in and buying a raffle ticket and winning something. So it does raise quite a bit of money, and it's a great day. It really is enjoyable.
Right. So the money raised has gone so far to what's been going on at the school. And now we have, and this is my favourite bit, I've been waiting a long time to see this. Now, phase 2 is Lego We Do 2.0 core set. And Lego is my favourite toy. If you know me well, and if you know my family, my son, he's 9, I've actually instilled Lego into him as well. So we are mega Lego fans at the Ghazi household. And I grew up with Lego years and years ago, and now my son is as well. So where did this come about? Tell us about Lego We Do.
Lego has been really concentrating a lot of effort onto the education side for the last 30 years. They've produced all different systems throughout different age groups in school that help teach children the basics of STEM education, the science, technology, engineering, mathematics, which are really, really important to learn. And the younger you learn these things, the easier it is to absorb them. It's bringing making learning fun. It's making learning fun that kids can learn robotics, they can learn how to make cars, using all the Lego pieces. And kids love Lego, as you say. They love to build, they love to be creative.
Yeah.
So these are great opportunities. And Lego's been working now for, as I said, 30 years on these. They have competitions with Lego throughout the world for all different age groups. They go right through to Lego Olympics, which are huge competitions that they've had recently in Japan was the Lego Olympics. And they build marvellous robots and marvellous systems. And it's great to instill from kids from a young age this desire to learn and this desire to try things out. You know, it's maybe the things about Lego and these sorts of Lego kits they provide is that kids learn to try, and maybe it doesn't work, but you have to look at why it hasn't worked. They document their projects all the way through, they take photos, they write up information on them, they try new things, they work as teams on this, so it gives them so much chance in so many different areas.
in the information that you've given me, Amanda, it says here, designed with collaboration in mind, each course set supports 2 students, introducing them to science, computational thinking and engineering principles in a fun and engaging way. The set is based upon the latest science standards and was created to enhance students' curiosity and science skills. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? Now, we've got a photograph here. Obviously, we can't really see it very well, these photographs, but what is the age range? Because, you know, Kashak is a primary school up until the age of about 11. So what age range are we now aiming for with this set? I mean, Deniz, you have the set in front of you now. Your son's 5, my son's 9, but what age range is this aimed for?
This actual set here is actually set for the ages of between 5 and 10 years old.
Right. So a child as young as 5, your son could even start to use this and to learn about.
Yeah, the way it's laid out, the way it's set, is to support the kids, and it's made it easy for the kids to function with.
Right. Now this is the bit that I think everyone's going to enjoy. It's not just building the Lego and, you know, following the instructions. You now got technology involved. Everyone, you know, all the kids nowadays have got their heads in a phone or a laptop or a tablet. So what's happening here now at the moment, Deniz?
Well, this is like the cars. One just a random car made up, and they can do race days in the school, so all the kids can make in groups make up a car.
So they design the car?
They design it, they make it, they build it, and then they can program the car to do it as they want it to do. And each in the programming, it's all made for child friendly. So there's no words, or it's easy pictures and set how you want it to go. So you can set the speed or the how many seconds you want it to drive for.
Right. And so this application is available for them to use with the Lego set that comes along. Then, so obviously, it's good that you've got that multimedia room for them.
It is, actually.
Because they can then use their skills that you've learned, and then.
Yes, and it's very good because Lego comes with all the support for teaching that you need. It's like the teachers will be trained in how to build things, but they have full comprehensive schedules to, that they can go by. The projects come, they've from 30 minutes through to 2-hour projects to build, and they come from basic levels, intermediate levels, advanced levels, and then the kids' creativity comes into play, where they can design their own projects. So there's something for every level of ability with children. They don't have to necessarily be technically minded if they prefer to do the documenting and the reporting of their things, taking the photos, writing up what happened. It's a great opportunity for collaboration with larger groups as well, because they get feedback from other children. You learn sometimes that things don't work, you know, and you've got to try again. And these are important lessons in life, you know. You've got to learn to collaborate and things.
Where was this set up when I was growing up in the UK as a child?
There's also different problem solving where they can prevent flooding. There's drop and rescue they can build. There's all different projects they can actually aim for, earthquake and hazardous things they can build. So it's all to educate them further as well.
Yeah, so it's about daily life in general and things that they might come across as adults in the future.
Exactly.
Engineers, technology,
very much
minded,
so. It's been
science.
very much developed with teaching in mind to incorporate curriculums throughout the world. The Lego competitions that happen in different age groups happen in over 90 countries. There's over 320,000 students every year take part in them.
And I know that there's Lego competitions here in the TRNC as well, because I've seen at my son's school last year they held a competition at the school, and I'm not sure if it's a different location every year, but I know that some groups, some schools get involved, have a team, and they compete with each other. So Lego and designing technology is actually developing here in the TRNC as well, isn't it?
It's great. It's a great opportunity for children to learn about this, and it would be great if other schools did incorporate it as well, and more competitions between schools could take place. And then secondary schools also can take part in competitions. There's competitions in Turkey that take place, but there's so many different levels of Lego that you can work through to build absolutely such complex.
The possibilities are endless.
I know, yes.
Although the chance, like the kids in the private schools, there's a lot of the private schools here now have gone with the Lego. And they are doing the lessons in it, but the state schools haven't got that opportunity.
So
for lack of funding.
maybe one of the first state schools to receive this, and this is what you are planning for now, aren't you?
Yes, it is the first, so it's a great opportunity for them. I mean, they need to come out of primary school with the hands-on technology.
Yeah.
That's kind of the bar which is set now for education throughout the world.
Yes.
That children coming through need to know how to create things, how to use the tablet to do the simple programming, how to use the laptops. It's the minimum that you need to have.
It's a win-win situation for everyone involved,
Exactly.
Amanda. And one thing I have to say also is that even though Karşıyaka is a local school where most of the lessons are in Turkish, and you know, not all the kids are foreign. You know, most of the kids there are local kids.
Yeah.
Lego is universal language, isn't it? You don't really need to know too much. You don't need language skills too much to be able to build Lego. So if you're using your imagination, you just need the skills to build it. So can you show us? I mean, I know off air you were playing around with this and see if we can
Yeah, I mean,
do a bit of a...
it's made simple for the kids to use. So all these are different movements you want the items to do. So this is the motor on the back.
Yeah.
So if you want the car to go forwards, you can first put the speed you want it to go at. So if I choose a nice medium 5, oh, not 65, that's a bit too fast there. So if I choose 5 for the speed, and we'll choose it to go forwards
All right.
we'll choose it to go forwards for 2 seconds.
All right then.
And then we'll just click play. Oh, and it will go forwards.
And there you are.
And then
Here
it'll
it
stop.
is.
But you can make it go by noise. So if I put a noise one in, and then there was a noise in the room, the car would then move, and things like that. Or
amazing. And so the children can choose what they want to do, how they want it to react, and then they do that. They can program it in.
or they can all like construct their own vehicles, and then do a little race on the floor to see whose was faster and whose was this, and how they can make theirs faster, and
how to streamline the car, make it a faster, better car.
Stability, you know, how to make it bigger but still stable or whatever. It's great.
Simple but effective.
Very, very much
Really
so.
effective. So this Lego education set, can we actually obtain this here in the TRNC, Deniz?
yeah, there is a company in Lefkoşa that import these, and they've been more than helpful with us with the charity and getting us and giving their own time and support as well. He's donated his own free time to train the teachers with no extra costs.
Right.
To give them a chance.
So that's good. So we have a supplier in Lefkoşa who is giving the chance to share these. So look at the kit. It's a fantastic kit. Can we put this on the table as well for a second, so that our viewers, hopefully, if my camerawoman can show this from above. Great kits. And in fact, it shows you where each bit should be going, so the kids learn how to tidy up after themselves, which is a problem when you've got lots of Lego pieces
It's incorporated
everywhere.
into each lesson plan as the breakdown time when everything has to be put away in the same place.
Yeah.
But the Lego does actually, you can use regular Lego. You know, you can use as much Lego as you want. If you've got basketfuls of Lego at home, it can all be used with it to make bigger and bigger things.
Yes, because even modern Lego still connects with the old Lego that we have. It's always universal, isn't it, Lego? So that's really good. And if you have the basic set, and then maybe the school can supply other extra Lego pieces to make bigger and better things, can't you, I suppose, as well?
Yes, well, Lego itself in their education section, they do design more kits which have the motors in, the motors that do different things. I know that you were saying earlier that it has sensors on the front so that it will stop. You can program it to stop before it hits the wall. So it's all of this sort of thing, you know, it's very, very clever.
Amazing.
But all the projects that are given on in the app that we use to run it, every piece for every project is what's given here. So they're not missing. So there's hundreds of projects already on here for the teachers to give to the students, and every piece in here will make every project. So
that's really good to know that you don't need any extra things at all. Whatever you need for that lesson is there.
The first
in the
stages,
kit.
and once they get more inventive, they want to create more, they can then add more Lego on to build bigger and better. And
right, so this is the one that we've seen here now. So what's the aim of phase 2, Amanda, for the Karşıyaka School? How many of these, or is there a number that you want, or what are you doing now to do
At the moment,
with the Lego?
we've raised the funds for 12 of these kits, and the teachers will be trained up, and then they'll be introduced into the school.
Right.
And as I said, this project is very much a case of what we can do for Karşıyaka school children. So the future, we'll wait and see what crops up. But it would be nice if it could get to the stage where the children could have competitions, where there could be inter-school competitions with other state schools, not just private schools as well, so that other schools, maybe communities and other school districts would start to raise money for their schools to have the same sort of kit, and it could become an inter-school competition.
Whose idea was it to find this Lego? I mean, there are so many things that you can do, and it's such a great, unusual, innovative idea to have at a school. Whose idea was it? Whose brainchild is it to think, okay, let's go and get a Lego set for the kids? I mean, did you know about this before, Deniz?
I knew about the Legos before, but I'd say mainly my dad was pushing towards this idea because he loves the creativity and what it can spark in the kids.
Fantastic. And when you spoke to the school, they were all for it, saying, yes, this would be really good for our students.
The school headmistress and a lot of the other teachers, they've been more than supportive, and they love the idea. And as I say, it's in a lot of the private schools, so the local schools just haven't had that chance to have anything like this.
So that's really good for you for Karşıyaka Primary School. However, you have been saying to me that the Jesuit Friends of Karşıyaka School children isn't just about the primary school itself, is it? You're talking about the kids of Karşıyaka in general. So where do we go from here? I mean, it's a nice small community. Karşıyaka is a beautiful area, great part of the island, but where do you go from here? I mean, there's so many things that you can do, but are you now hoping to maybe spread out to other schools in the area, or to help other needy children maybe who are living in Karşıyaka?
Well, it's very specific to Karşıyaka, this group. It is the community spirit in Karşıyaka that's coming into play here. People want to invest really in their children's future, because it's just, we need to give chances to kids to level up the playing field where it comes to education, so that everybody does get the best education possible. There's no further projects set in stone yet. There's lots of discussions going on about how much further different projects can go for kids. But at the moment we're concentrating on getting this into the schools, seeing how it takes off, seeing how it's welcomed, and looking at the future from there.
I'm sure most of the regulars who come to JESIC are really happy that, what they are supporting is now coming to life, and that you've done a lot of work for the school, and now you're purchasing these Lego sets. I mean, what's the reaction like with your customers? Are they always happy to put their hands in their pockets and, support you?
Yeah, I mean, they all help us in each way, and we always show them each stage as we take it and what we're doing. We always tell them before we even do something, in case any of them have any other ideas or anything they want to suggest towards us. And they love the fact they can see where it's actually being spent on what is being spent.
I mean, it's such an unusual project, and it's a shame that I hadn't heard about it before. I know that you advertise on your own web, on the Facebook page that you've got for JESICs, but to be honest, it hasn't really gone national, has it? I haven't seen it in any of the local press or whatever. So hopefully now, maybe with our programs on the radio and TV, we'll be spreading out more, because
we hope so. Yes.
The more people that come, even though you do have a lot of people coming out, the more people who come and support you, the better things that the more things you can do.
And definitely it's more things that can be done, and also, as we were saying, the more communities who think, well, we could do that for our school, and start to organising themselves to do something for their school along these lines. It's all the opportunities that they can create for kids in the area, and that's what the important thing is about.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe you can have in the future school competitions, or Karşıyaka versus Lapta, or Lapta versus Alsancak.
Exactly. But there's no limit to it. Within Lego education itself, at the moment, their international competition is dealing with landing on the moon and creating a moon base. So the children have to think about, well, what do I need if I live on the moon? I need air supply. I need to have a space station there that I can live on. I need to find a way to have water. I need to find a way to have food. All of these things. That's the international competition for the primary school level. Once it gets to the secondary school level, it becomes so much more complex. But it's a wonderful way to learn, because it is very much a recognised part of education these days, that hands-on learning teaches so much more than sitting in a classroom and reading from a textbook. To actually create things, it makes you learn so much quicker. When children are at primary school, their brains are really like a sponge. They absorb so much. And that's the time when we really need to give them the opportunities to learn. In our first phase, we provided a lot of English language books and a lot of support on that side to try and bring through encourage children to learn English.
Yeah.
If it's English or any other second language, it's an important part of education, primary education. This helps with not just the technology side, not with the science side, but also the creative side, the kind of designing something, thinking about it. For example, a project with the moon, thinking about how to create a moon base, how to create sleeping quarters, how to design it, what needs to be done to photograph it, to document it. It's so good. It's education throughout every aspect and throughout every child's ability. There are basic projects, there are intermediate projects, there's advanced projects. Children within the one classroom can be working at very different levels and to the best of their ability.
It is, like I said, like Kim was saying, it's fantastic. I mean, I'm really in awe because I am a big fan of Lego myself, and I love watching my son play and develop with the Lego as well. Didn't you have a leaflet about the space? Well, is it with you there?
Here.
About the space project, or is it not with us?
Yeah, we got.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, so Mission Moon, and I know that in my son's school. And certain schools, either kids are sent to space camps in Turkey. There's a space camp in Izmir. So space and Lego is even more exciting for children because they're learning about space. I mean, it's one of the things that you always learn at primary school. You know, the planets and who's furthest from the sun or who's nearest or whatever. And so bringing Lego and the Mission Moon. So is this something that is actually a challenge at the moment now?
This is the current international Lego First Junior competition for ages 6 to 11, and it's quite intense, and they do need to document it, to create a poster giving all the information of what they've done, why they've done it, what they've talked about. It's very, very intense competition, really. Moving on to the secondary school one, I was having a look at that online, and it's scary stuff.
Really?
It really is. Oh gosh.
You end up with a degree.
They're building things to eject things, to space stations that eject people, they parachute them down. Oh gosh.
Yeah, they're building like space stations there, and
it is, and building satellites to send out from the space stations, and so it's very good. But when you get up to the Olympics phase, the Olympics, Lego Olympics, is open from 6 years old to 25 years old. But the things they build there are quite incredible.
Very incredible. So they are the engineers, the mechanics, the inventors of the future, these youngsters. So it's really good. This is something that I'm sure that the kids at Karashaka school will appreciate. Have you taken this into the school yet? Have any of the kids seen this yet?
Not as yet. We're just waiting for them all to come in.
Yeah.
All the sets should be there, and next week we should be going into the school and handing them over and letting the kids see what they've got. And
so there'll be a little day when you'll be going down there.
Yeah, and at first they're going to start it out as a like an extra club, so they can do either lunchtime or breaks.
Right. Because
it's not set in the curriculum yet.
No.
But as of next term, it's going to start as an actual lesson, and Karashaka School will be the first to actually start that as a lesson in the school.
Fantastic. So this Lego technology will be part of the curriculum within the school, and then from now on, you know, other kids coming in through the school will be able to, you know, use all these wonderful pieces of Lego and build whatever they want and use their imaginations and learn something on the way in the process.
And we've set it to 12 because there's an average of 24 in each class in the government schools.
Right. So
12, they've got to work as a pair. They've got to work together and create something. And
so one class, enough for one class to use for all the in the kids in one class. I think it's amazing what you've done, and it's amazing that you and your dad have just done this from the back of Jesse's bar and from the customers there. You've got wonderful customers, I think, who support you because, like I said, I hadn't heard anything about it. No massive fundraising events. It's just literally what you're doing every week in, week out.
Slowly builds up. It builds up. It's great to see actually, because it does have that support from the local community, but it's not asking a big thing from everybody all the time. It's like everybody can just participate and help towards the fundraising.
And they're having fun along the way and helping us as well.
Yeah. So, as you said earlier on, Amanda, in a couple of weeks' time, you've got another event. A couple of months' time, you've got another event coming up. How can our viewers help? Would you be open to donations of presents and
yes,
prizes?
very much open to donations of presents, anything. We have raffle on during that day as well as the auction, but any items that they feel they can contribute, please do consider us, because as we said, it does all go towards the school children, and they are the future of Karşıyaka, so we do need to donate. And also to come along on the day, because it really is an enjoyable day. It's a bit of everything goes on, doesn't it? It's
a fun day for it.
Yeah.
It is.
But we don't have a set date as yet, though, at the moment.
No, it'll be late March or early April. We just have to wait for confirmation of the date, but we'll make sure we let you know. So.
Please do let us know. And again, Jessic's Bar, the page on Facebook will be sharing that. Out of interest, two things that I learned very quickly on the way to the interview with Deniz. One is that Deniz lives in Arapköy, which is the other side of the middle of Gidne. So it takes you 45 minutes to get from home to Jessic's?
On average.
Well done for that commute every day. And secondly, give us a story about how Jessic's was named.
The name came from, it should have been Jessica's at the very beginning, which was my niece, my dad's granddaughter. But they were in the offices in Lefkoşa, as they normally do, they messed the paperwork up, and it became Jessic's. And once it was set and they'd give us our stamp, my dad said, no, that's it, it's set, so we'll keep it that way.
So a nice story. It should have been Jessica, but it's Jessic's Bar. Still a very good place to go to. And if anyone who hasn't been there yet wants to go there, how would you describe, where are you, what's the landmark near you on the main road?
If you're leaving Lapta, coming from Karinya, just as you leave Lapta, you've got Samina Hotel, and then we're just past there on the left-hand side.
Right, you're on the main road.
On the main road.
Lots of signposts.
Yeah.
And when are you open? From when until when? What are the opening hours?
We're open 7 days a week. We open from 11:30 in the morning up until there's no closing time.
Yeah, like we say, until the last person kicked out, after the last orders. But I want to wish you, both of you, the best of luck for the future for the Jessic Friends of Karşıyaka School Children project. I think it's a fantastic project, and send our love to the customers and to the friends and to the whole community of Karşıyaka. And well done for all that you are doing. And I hope that our viewers will support you in the next adventure, in the next event that you have there in the next couple of months. But well done, amazing, Amanda. And please keep us informed about how things develop.
We will do. Thank you very much for inviting us on the show today. It's been a pleasure.
No, it's been my pleasure. And also, Deniz, I know you were a bit wary of coming onto radio and TV, but thank you for explaining everything to us.
Thank you.
And for all your hard work, and good luck with getting all the rest of the kits ready for the kids in the next couple of weeks. Thanks a lot for that.
And thank you for having us here and letting people know about what we're actually doing.
You're more than welcome. And with that, we've come to the end of a cup of conversation today with Amanda Fiora and Deniz Aziz, and wishing you all a lovely week. And if you can help, make 2019 the year that you help everyone, helping the kids, they are our future. What a way to start the new year. Anyway, have a great 2019. And until next week, be safe and be with Bayrak. Take care. Bye-bye.